Well, hey guys, I was just going to take a few minutes to basically give you guys a quick tip. There's a bunch of creatures out there that we buy at fish stores without doing the adequate research. Now, I've done the adequate research on black spine urchins. I've known it for years, and it was a chance I was willing to take. Since only 8% of black spines eat or I guess crave coral, SPS, I was willing to take that chance, and that chance worked for a good 2 years. You guys have to also understand urchins do about 81% of our algae cleanup in the ocean, so they're very important. They're very good for the for the ocean and for our own systems. But long story short, I have since removed my black spines out of my 300-gallon tub since I don't have any algae whatsoever in there. Because it's a fish-only system, I'm not lighting it with the 800 watts of metal halide like I used to. Well, now I was forced to put it into my 40 breeder because their care requirements are the same as a reef. So, over the course of the last 2 months, he has eradicated pretty much all of the algae in the whole entire system, but now he has chose to start munching on my Monty and taking a good chunk out of my candy cane coral. So for the last 3 weeks I've been feeding him red, what's that stuff called? Dragon's breath and some red algae, and that's been doing just fine for him. I posted him on Craigslist and on a few of my groups to see if I can basically trade him for coral or whatnot. And I didn't have any luck. So, with that said, guys, if you don't have any other options, just go back to your local fish store. I made an offer to John, who owns Oasis Tropical Fish in Redmond, and basically I offered him, hey, can I trade for 2 turbo snails, and I'll give you this urchin back. Now, you guys might think that's not a good deal or whatnot, but you have to understand he has an overhead, he's got an electricity bill, and he's got to be able to make money, and I don't want to waste his time. So I paid $15 for this guy, and I'm going to get $6 in snails. So not a bad, basically I'm not losing a lot of money or anything, but I also don't want to risk losing my Monty, which it probably is too late. So here he is right there, and there's Oasis right there. So I'm going to go in there, guys. I'm going to get my snails, and I'm going to go on my way. So just remember, guys, if you have a certain livestock that someone sold you and you didn't do the right research, or you just can't have it in your system anymore, I highly recommend contacting your local fish store or trying to trade with somebody else. So thanks, guys. So I'm here at Oasis, gonna pick out some snails. Just looking for a good sized one. I basically picked up $18 worth of these guys yesterday, and I've never seen this before, but they have devoured hair algae. Never seen that from a tequila snail or a turbo snail. So I'm pretty impressed on the shipment, so I want to get some more. Alright guys, so I just put in the turbos that I got from John. He hooked me up with 3. As you can see, the 3 are right there. And in all of my time, in the hobby, I've never experienced a turbo snail or a tequila snail eat so much hair algae in such a short amount of time. And as you guys can see, here's the Monty where my, waiting for it to focus. I don't know if it's going to focus. As you guys can see, my black spine urchin has acquired a taste for my Monty. And, it's pretty much to the point where I don't know if I'll be able to save this whole entire coral, but for the most part, I think it'll recover. But that's the reason why I had to get him out of this tank so fast. And as you guys know, I do struggle with hair algae in this system due to the surge that happens every few minutes, and it basically fills my tank with air bubbles. But with that said, guys, these turbos have annihilated the hair algae. They've only been in here for 2 days. And to show you guys how well they've done, you can see this whole rock right here. It was completely covered in hair algae. Threw a turbo on there, and within about 10 minutes it was gone. So they're doing their job. I think I got about 13 or 14 of them in here, not including other snails like Trocus snails and margarita snails and my hermit crabs. But for the most part, these guys are well money spent. There's just a few areas right there. In this area, there's the surge, basically just blows that whole area with air. And then there's this whole rock right here, which I've struggled pretty much since I installed the surge on this with hair algae, and they're just devouring it. So I'm very pleased with those turbos. If you guys have any issues with hair algae, give them a try. I know that Trocus snails do a really good job, and green turf algae, and even Bryopsis. So keep that in mind, guys. And you know, that's about all I have to say about you know, trading your livestock for things that you don't need or that you find don't work in your system. So I hope you guys enjoyed.